Right. And reaction, Jack, what's it been?
Well, yeah, I mean, just this morning, James, I've been out talking to people, and one man was telling me that he was getting on a bus rather than driving his car because he could no longer afford that journey. He lived in Hooley, and he would have had to cross the border over into Croydon. And then another person saying that their doctor's surgery was now in the ULEZ zone, and that was making life a lot more complicated. So a lot of people not very happy about the fact that it's going ahead. I've been speaking this morning to Mario Cretura, who's a Conservative councillor in Coulsdon, and this is what he had to say.
Principally, the reason I am not a fan of ULEZ is because it won't work and it's going to cause huge trouble for people across Coulsdon and across Surrey and across London who are struggling to pay their bills because of the cost of living crisis. That's the fundamental reason. It's too expensive and it won't work.
And are you hearing from people in your area about how it's going to impact, and are they getting in touch with you about that?
Absolutely. It's one of the things that I hear about on an almost daily basis. People are really concerned about making ends meet, and ULEZ is top of their list. When we hold street surgeries, when we have meetings, when we're knocking on doors on social media, ULEZ comes up time and time again. And it's exactly for that reason, cost of living. I've got elderly residents who struggle to drive around, and they really can't understand how they can be expected to buy a brand spanking new car in the middle of a cost of living crisis whilst needing to go about their day-to-day lives. The same with small businesses and people that are traders that rely on their vehicles. The same with parents taking their children to school. All of that needs to happen. It can't just stop. And the Mayor of London is expecting people to buy brand spanking new cars when they can't afford it for a scheme that just won't work. It won't improve air quality, which is what he says is the reason why he's implementing it.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we're here in Hooley this morning. This is an area where in the past air pollution levels have been breached, and we can see that it's a busy road here along the A23 going into Coulsdon. So, there does have to be surely something that needs to be done to deal with air pollution.
That's absolutely right. Air quality is incredibly important and is something that we really need to take seriously. But ULEZ is not the answer. And the Mayor knows this. Transport for London did a study right at the start and asked, would it actually improve air quality? And it found that in Croydon and other outer London boroughs, it would have a 1 to 2% impact on improving air quality. And that's not enough when you're potentially asking people to pay thousands of pounds a year in daily ULEZ fees. So what we want is to try and actually improve air quality in a way that actually has an impact without shouldering the burden onto people who can least afford it.
So how do you do that?
There are lots of different ways. You can, frankly, start with Transport for London. So the Mayor has got a fleet of buses, lots of trains, lots of things that he could do to actually improve the things that are already within his control. So if you took some of the money that he spent on the ULEZ cameras that you've probably seen popping up all over the area and actually invested that into improving the carbon emission efficiency of a lot of the fleets and the services that Transport for London and the Mayor uses, that would go a huge way to improving the air quality in London.
Interesting. 9:16 is the time.